Hey everybody, it's Matthew of Mr. Domestic, where we spread joy and positivity through sewing and fabric play. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a 20-minute easy peasy zippered pouch. Look, ding 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 ding. I just appliqued some goodness on it for Helena, and it's got da-da-da. It's got lining, I even put a label in it, and literally from start to finish, it took me 20 minutes, including changing the camera setups, to finish one pouch. So if that's what you're here for, then before we get into the content, anytime you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Now let's get ready to have some. Okay, things that you will need to make this easy peasy zipper pouch. You're gonna need a zipper. I totally suggest starting with either polyester or like a universal, because it's easier to sew over. And it says 18 inches here, but this definitely is not 18 inches. I just generally get zippers that are like longer than what I need, so I don't have to deal with like this part of it. And then I have two for the external. Ooh la la, I just appliqued this on. I thought it was super cute. And this, just so you know my dimensions, but the dimensions don't really matter. It is 8 by 11 here. So I have two 8 by 11 squares for the outside, two 8 by 11 rectangles for the lining, and then I have Wonder Tape. I suggest everyone use Wonder Tape for zippers. It's changed my life. It's revolutionary. Invention of the year. Not this year, whenever the year it came out. Okay, and so this is my ironing mat. Yeah, it's kind of dirty. I need to clean it. And this is the zipper, right? So the first thing that we are going to do is install this zipper on. Let me make sure that my iron is good to go. And then I have my Wonder Tape, and take one of these. And so I take my Wonder Tape, and where is it? There it is. It starts there, and I'll put it right there on the edge, like that. And I tear it with my finger, because I found tearing it with my finger is a lot easier to remove than like cutting it. And then the zipper goes two ways. So the part that the pull is on is the top, right? So then I can go ahead and close it, and then I will put it right here. Enough out of the way where I don't have to mess with that zipper pull when I'm zipping it or sewing it. So there you go. This, just so you can see, this is lined up to that. And now I'm gonna heat set this. A little bit of steam, a little bit of heat, get that in place. And then another round of Wonder Tape. Don't know what happened there. And then, ta-da-ta-da, right here, pull this off. The Wonder Tape is secure. And then you take one of your lining, and you do this like this. Make sure that these edges are lined up. Make sure that it's lined up there, and then heat set it one more time. And then take this over to your sewing machine. Okay, and so now with this, I don't even have a zipper foot on. This is my walking foot. It's a dual foot, but you can use any kind of foot. This, I believe, is just, it's thick enough. And since you move this out of the way, you don't even have to deal with that, like maneuvering it around there. And I am going to sew right here at, looks like 1/4 of an inch. Right there. And this is, I want some of the zipper to be seen. But if you don't, and just want the teeth to show, then I would whip out your zipper foot and get close in there. But for now, that's all I've done. Ta-da-ta-da-ta-da. Now I'm gonna take it back over to my ironing mat. So now I am back over at my ironing mat, and all I'm gonna do is press this stuff out of the way. Like press the lining, and then I'll press the outside. And this essentially is just to get it away from the zipper teeth for now, so that we can do the other half of the pouch. So good to go. Yay! Now back to that Wonder Tape. This is wonderful, it's marvelous. I'm not a singer. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna sing, folks. So there you go. I tore it there. Lift this up, and then I'm gonna rinse, repeat this. Let's line this up. But you wanna make sure to line it up to this side too. And it's pretty easy, this kind of pouch, to line it up. So it's lined. Heat set this. And then as you can see, just make sure that the outside go together. And then the lining will go together. Some more Wonder Tape. Wonder Tape. If you don't have Wonder Tape, you can clip or pin this. It's just to save so much time that it's definitely worth the investment in my opinion. Line this up to where all the raw edges are lined, see? Then I'm going to heat set it one more time. Okay, now this is going back over to my sewing machine. I'm gonna show you a couple steps there. Over to Felicia. Once again, I'm going by that little notch. I think that's 1/4 inch. And I am just gonna sew. Once again, you can use a regular foot here. You can use your zipper foot if you have it. This one is just on there, so that's why I'm using it. Also, one other thing, since I'm using denim and it's thicker, I do have a denim needle in here. Just make sure to use the appropriate needle. Cut it. Okay. One other thing I'm gonna show you here. I'm not gonna press it because this lining is pretty durable. But right here, this seam, I am going to stitch to the lining, not to the outside, because I don't want to top stitch on the outside. And this will do two things. It'll secure the seam so that it's good and it won't fray. And then two, it'll force you to remember to put this seam on the inside in the lining. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stitch this at 1/8 of an inch. So it's securing the zipper and that seam. And since I haven't pressed it, I'm pulling on this just a little bit to make sure that it's all caught up. And then I'm gonna do the other side, so I'll just fast forward that. Okay, so now this is secure. And what we are going to do from here, the first thing, this zipper, I'm not even gonna trim it yet, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to unzip it halfway because you're gonna need to get up in there in a minute. So it's zipped up halfway. Let me show you what I was talking about the seams. Like, you want the zipper to face toward the outside. And so then you want the seam to be flush with the lining. So I'm lining this up, making sure, since this is the open part, make sure that these two are lined up perfectly. And then this is where I'm going to use a clip, right here. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And since it's zipped, if you're not cautious, it could get a little askew. So make sure to line the bottom parts of it like that, and then clip again. So that is good to go. The rest of it, I'm just gonna eyeball because, I don't know, it makes me feel like a boss sewer when I don't have to clip, and then I'm partially lazy. And now with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, I am going to stitch all the way around the perimeter, except I am going to leave like a 6 or 8 inch hole right here. So let me get started here. I'm gonna back stitch. I'm gonna start with back stitching here just to secure that. And then pivot right here. And then this zipper, it's a poly zipper, right? But that doesn't mean that it can't break your needle. And I have a denim needle. Definitely make sure you have a denim needle on when you do this part. And then just slow it down. It'll get through it. Yeehaw, y'all! And then just continue. And I will fast forward. Okay, now I'm back stitching here just to secure it. Cutting it. Now there's an opening. Okay, before I take this over to my ironing mat, I want to show you something that I do. I do this on pillows and bags whenever I want this to be a crisp point. I have my sewing machine on a zigzag with a length of 0.5 and the width of 2 millimeters. And then I try to get it at, what is that, as wide of an angle as possible and just zigzag it to where it meets that point, and then I pivot it right here, and this is reinforcing that corner, and then I just trim it. Make sure not to cut the threads. See? And that will allow you to get a crisp corner whenever you turn it right side out. And then one other place that I'm going to zigzag, I'm not going to do that one in real time, is right here. Woo, woo. Boom, boom, boom. And once again, make sure to do it slowly. And I only do this when I use a poly zipper, just to reinforce that. I'm giving this to my 5-year-old, and I want to make sure this is durable for her to go to school. Just do it slowly. There. See how that one's done right there? Then I can go ahead and trim it. So no, that's not going anywhere. Okay, so now I have this back over at my dirty ironing mat, and I'm gonna turn this right side out. This is why we left this hole here in the opening in the zipper, so it will all go through. Boom, wow. Stick your hand in there. Make sure to get those points. I can't find my point thingy. It's like this wood thing to help with points. So I'm just gonna use an eraser to help push this point out. See, to make it as crisp as possible. Yay! And then I'll open up the whole zipper so you can see this. I'm gonna do the same thing to this point. This one's gonna curve a little bit with the zipper, but still I'll try to push them out as much as possible. So, look at that hole. What are you gonna do with that? This is where you will top stitch the bottom. No one's gonna see it, and it'll look professional since you're doing the whole thing. Just use my finger here, my finger here. And then one thing I do, like if you just pull on this like this, it'll continue that seam. So I have that, and now I'm gonna press it with my iron. And then one thing that I do, anytime there's like a forced seam, and like this is a forced seam because like I had to close it somehow and I didn't want to hand stitch it, like I'm putting Wonder Tape on one of my tags, and I'm just gonna put a tag there so it looks like it was intentional, like I meant that to be an exposed seam or stitch. Just put it right in there, right there. So there's gonna be a tag in the lining. Boom. Now I'm gonna take this back over to my sewing machine, top stitch it, and we are good to go. Back over to Felicia. Just gonna start here, back stitch a little bit, and I'm just gonna try and edge stitch as much as I can. It doesn't have to be perfect. And look at that. It's like I meant for that to be an opening for that label. No one's gonna know. Tricky! And then back stitch there. And then all you have left to do, put that in there, and you have got yourself an easy peasy zippered pouch. Yay! Now you can make this easy peasy pudding pie zippered pouch for you, for anyone. Such an awesome, easy gift that will make your friends, family, yourself stand out in the crowd and the sea of zippered pouches. So if you enjoyed this video, got a laugh, a tip, or a trick or two, make sure to give it the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Keep it positive, y'all. Mr. Domestic out.